Yo, what is going on, my friends? Today, back with another video. I'm gonna be doing this is breaking down how they shot this video, also breaking down some of the effects. Later on in the video, I'm also gonna hop into Premiere, show you an easy way you can do this kind of zooming effect. I'm also gonna then switch into After Effects and show you even a better way to do this cool zooming effect. So the Premiere parts are gonna be things like this, like going through the TV, zooming. The After Effects parts are gonna be covering this entire sequence where things are zooming out and kind of pasting to an object within the next scene. Super cool effect. Let's just briefly break down how this video was shot. So what we got going on here in the beginning, this is one of like my favorite openings to a video in a while. Starts all the way underground in the water and then raises through the ground until you see this subway right here, and then you see all the way up to the streets of New York City, I'm pretty sure. So I'm pretty sure Cinecom has a tutorial on how to do this kind of raise to the ground thing, as well as they probably just used either stock footage and then kind of mix it together with this clip. And then the way they actually block the shot is really cool. So once they raise from the subway, you see they kind of use this backpack just to kind of block the shot. So they have the camera behind this backpack and then it just raises up into normal street level view. And the main thing going on in this video is they're using this crazy crane shot right here. And this actually reminded me a lot of that effect that was used on the new FX show Atlanta with Childish Gambino starring in it, where they kind of have him going through the ground. So I have a really strong feeling that the crane shot was kind of influenced through that. I'm going to flash some more videos on the screen right here where you can check out more discussion and tutorials about how that was done. I know Cinecom has one, Just an Odisho has one. Since this is a breakdown and a tutorial, I'm not going to be able to show every single effect from this video in one tutorial. So I kind of want to point you guys to other places where it's been done and then show you my take on a lot of the cool stuff. So like I said, crane shots, if you want the full tutorial on how they like go through the ground, check out Cinecom, check out Just an Odisho. So I'm going to show you how to do this cool zoom through the TV and then this crazy like zooming out compilation of just really good masking, really good tracking that they did here to make it just fit perfectly together. And in reality, this actually isn't that hard to do. It doesn't really take that much time and like effort. It just kind of takes a lot of creativity. You have to have an eye for where these things can kind of mesh together. So like I said, keep watching the tutorial. We're going to be going through how to do this. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that with an After Effects. This right here is just masking in the eye, slowly scaling him up until this actually becomes the next scene. Pretty cool effect again. And then this effect right here is something that really interested me. It's kind of like taking the scene and like stamping it onto person. So I have two theories for how this could actually be done. One, I think that it could be composited together in some kind of like 3D software. I'm not really sure how true that is just because I don't have that much knowledge about that. Or two, the only time I've actually seen something like stamped onto another scene like this is through data mushing, where a scene will kind of stick to a person using that. So I think they might have data mushed the clip and then just kind of cropped it out and made it more soft so it wasn't like as hard hitting, rough as like data mushing usually looks. So that's just a theory. I could be completely wrong about that. If you guys have a better idea of how that was done, leave it in the comment section below, because this is the only thing that really kind of stumped me. I'm just going to kind of experiment with it and see if I can create a similar looking thing. If I do, I'll create a full tutorial for you guys, so let me know if you'd like me to try that out. So let's hop into Premiere and I'm just going to show you some cool stuff you can do to create a similar effect. So first, what I'm going to do is just show you some of the footage that I selected that would be good for this effect. What you want to do is pick shots that have things that could easily be masked out, such as squares, and you can really just be creative with how far this goes. For example, you could use this method and kind of cut through the circle. Circles are really good, mirrors are really good. I also use this green screen clip right here of a TV, and I just added that into my green screen pack. If you would like, go check out my website. You can get a green screen pack with clips like this, a bunch of other useful stuff for your videos on my website, 100% for free. So we're going to start with this and I'm going to show you some cool little tricks in Premiere. And we're going to set up this kind of zooming through the TV where the edges of the TV kind of like zoom towards you. It's the first effect that happens whenever they start that sequence of just crazy zooming, as you can see right there. And because I'm using a green screen clip, what I'm going to do is just key out the green just to make this easier. If you're using a TV, what you can do is just mask it out using the crop tool. So I'm just going to search for the Ultra key effect. I'm going to throw this onto the TV clip right here. The top left in my effect controls, I'm just going to click this dropper and then just key out the green. So very simple and easy. And this clip actually starts to move backwards a little bit. So you can use that if you'd like, just to have some like natural motion. Or what I did is I just selected the part where it's still. I cut one frame out of that and then I just right clicked, added a frame hold and just drag that out. That way we just have one still shot, and we're going to add the motion manually using keyframes. Let's go ahead and take the clip that we want to place inside the TV, which is this right here. When I zoomed in on that controller, let's place that underneath the TV clip and then zoom in. So this is what we got. So it's a little bit too zoomed in. There's kind of some fraying here. What I'm going to do is just click on that bottom clip of the controller. I'm going to go up to effect controls and then motion, and I'm just going to scale that down to something like 43. Click on the box next to motion just to move things and then just reposition that So what I'm going to do now is just scroll my timeline to the point where I want the zoom through the TV to happen. So right about here is good whenever I start pulling away from the controller with my camera. What I'm going to do is just click Control K on the TV clip right there to make a cut. Top left in our effect controls, you're going to see position, scale, rotation. What we're going to do is just make a keyframe. So keyframe position, keyframe scale, and then we're just going to drag to the end where we want the zoom to occur. And I'm just going to scale this up. So just drag up the scale value. And then I'm going to click the box next to motion and just reposition that however I want. Let's go ahead and do the same for the bottom clip just to have it match. So let's go ahead and just keyframe position scale at our starting position, drag to the very end, and we're going to add 200. So we're going to make this 233.7 because it's already scaled down to 33.7. So just add 200. And that might be a little bit too zoomed in, so I'm actually just going to bump it down to maybe something like 122. I'm just going to delete the excess for the green screen because we don't need it, and just make sure it's fitting the screen over here. So that's looking good. Now let's actually make the zoom through the TV. So I'm just going to click on this razor tool right here in my toolbar and just make a cut right here on my bottom footage. I'm going to click V to bring back my pointer, and I'm just going to drag this bottom footage up to be next to the green screen clip, just like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to set up a quick little zoom effect. So I'm going to put my cursor between where the cut is. I'm going to hold down shift and then just click the arrow key once. And then I'm going to make a cut there. Now go shift right arrow key once just to go back, and then shift right arrow key again to go a little bit to the right, and then Control K to make a cut. So we cut 5 frames in both directions, starting from the middle of the cut where we want the zoom to start. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to select both of those, right click, and then nest them. So we're just going to do a simple zoom effect, pretty simple stuff. So you can add any quick little zoom preset. There's a bunch out there for free on the internet or on YouTube. I have a transition pack on my website if you want some zooms from there. I'm just going to apply zoom hit onto this middle nested clip. So that's what that looks like. As you can see, the TV kind of zooms out just like that. It kind of does this pop at the end, which I don't really like. So I'm just going to slide to where the TV zooms away, which is right there. I'm just going to make a cut. Click on the second clip and then go up to effect and controls, and just delete the zoom effect from this clip, just like that. So what it should look like is the TV just kind of zooms through just like that. So I also want to mention, to get that cool film look that is shown in the video, they either shot that on film or they actually just added some little effects to be able to get a similar look. So I'm actually going to apply this film effect from Magic Bullet from Red Giant, I'm pretty sure, and you can actually just change any of the filters of this to get something that you like. And then I'm also going to bump up the grain to 100% just to make it look nice and vintage. So that's how you get that cool vintage grain look. I used a plugin which costs money, but if you want, you could actually just add a noise effect to give yourself some grain. There's also other plugins such as Film Convert Pro, Sapphire I'm pretty sure has one, so there's a bunch of options out there. So now let me show you how to go through the TV. So this one's pretty easy as well. What I'm going to do here is actually freeze frame this so that it's not annoying to work with. So I'm going to move over one frame, click Control K, and just delete this excess. I'm going to right click that one frame and click add frame hold, just like that. Then I'm going to drag this out. So we've got this, and then it just kind of stops. It gives us a nice spot to actually create this effect to actually go through the TV. So what I'm going to do is just go to effects and look up crop. Go ahead and drag crop onto that clip that you cut out, the freeze frame. Now what I'm going to do is go to my effect controls, and I'm just going to click this little square mask 4-point polygon. I'm going to just drag that to the edges of the TV, and then I'm just going to make left 100%. So now we have the TV screen actually masked out. We're going to do the same thing we did at the beginning. Just take the clip you want to transition into, place it under the mask, and you're going to see it pop up right there. Just so it doesn't suddenly pop in there, I actually just added a quick little glitch effect preset, which you can get for free. I'm pretty sure if you just look up free glitch preset for Premiere, it'll pop up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames over using the arrow keys. I'm just going to add that quick little preset. So I'm just going to look up glitch, and then just add a glitch preset on there from, I'm pretty sure, Rocket Stock. And that looks pretty cool, just kind of like flickers on. Now we're going to do the same thing, just scale it up so it goes to the TV. So let's click on our TV clip. Let's go up to effect controls right here, and then keyframe position and scale. Drag to where we want the transition to happen, and then just raise up the scale. And that's actually pretty easy. It just kind of goes through like that. So I'll play that for you. And it happened a little bit too slow, so I'm just going to take this keyframe, just drag it back so it happens faster. And that looks pretty cool. So we're actually going to take the mask opacity of this and just lower it a bit. And that way you can see some of the glare on the TV. It makes it a little bit more visible. Now what we're going to do is hop into After Effects. I'm going to show you how to do what they did in the ASAP Forever video, where they're just zooming out, zooming out, zooming out. And I'm going to show you how to track objects to like posters, shirts, anything. Select both of these, right click them, and then just bring them into After Effects composition like that. What we're gonna do first is just create the tracking information so that we get all that boring stuff out of the way, because I feel like that's the stuff that kind of mixes people up and makes people not want to try the effect. It's because they have a hard time figuring out how to do the tracking, but it really isn't that hard, so I'm gonna show you how to do it right here. So I'm just gonna hide the bottom clip of him just standing there. So bring in the clip that you want to transition into next. So that for me is the screen, because like I said, I have him here and I want it to zoom out like he's in the computer screen. I'm gonna go up to animation and I'm just gonna click track motion, and it'll pop up a little track point in our tracker window right here. And what I'm also going to do is just right click in this box, click new, and then null object. And I'm just going to rename that to tracking info. I'm also going to rename these just so you guys don't get confused. So this is computer screen, and this I'm just going to name parking lot. So the null object is just going to serve as a little placeholder to hold our tracking information. Seems kind of complicated, but if you guys don't understand, just watch through and hopefully you guys have a better understanding of this. So let's click on computer screen, and we're actually just going to place this track point on one of the corners of the screen. Then I'm going to actually check this box for rotation and scale. It's going to create a second track point. And normally what I'll do is actually just track this to another corner of the screen right here. But what I'm going to do is just track it actually to this little box, just because as we drag along, this kind of goes out of frame. Okay, so once you place those tracking points, what you're going to want to do is just click edit target, make sure tracking info is selected, so that's your null object, and then we're just going to go ahead and click play just to actually track that, and it's going to track the position, scale, rotation, and it's doing a pretty good job. As you can tell, it's sticking on there pretty well. All right, so it just did the tracking. We're going to go ahead and click apply and then just click X and Y. Okay, so now it applied that onto our null, so we can close that for now. Now what we're going to do is actually just mask out the area that we want to transition. So let's go up and click our pen tool, and I'm just going to select where I would like to mask out, connect that box like that, and then go ahead and click the M key and just change the mask from add to subtract, and it should go away like that. So you should just see this transparent image or just a black screen. We're also going to open up the mask options and just add a feather of around 10 pixels like that. Let's go ahead and actually track this. So right click on your mask path and just click track mask, and then go ahead and play that. It's going to go through and actually do all the keyframing for you. If you see the mask start to mess up during that track, just click the space bar, just reposition the mask just to make sure it's all in the right corners. And if you actually have a good shot of if you actually have a good clear shot of the thing you want to transition into, you shouldn't have to do this, but it does help to know how. So I'm going to keep pressing, so I'm going to press play again to start that track and just watch these corners. So if I see a mess up, I'm going to stop it and then just fix it and then click play again. All right, and that's fine. So let's go back. Now we're going to create the effect where it's zooming out. So let's click on computer and let's open up its options. Let's go down to transform options, and we're just going to scale this up a huge amount like that. So I scaled it up to around 270. I'm going to keyframe the scale and the position. I'm going to drag a bit, and I'm just going to bring that back down to 100% like that. So what I just did was I created a keyframe where it just kind of zooms out just like this. I'm going to bring back this parking lot clip just to show you what it looks like. So just click the eyeball to bring it back. So here's what we got so far. We got him in the parking lot, and then this kind of scales down and you see him in the computer. So now the only thing we actually have to do is just apply the tracking info we did to the beginning to the clip of him in the parking lot. We want to make it look like it's really like stamped onto the image. So what I'm going to do is just go down to parking lot. I'm just going to change the parent of that to tracking info, because we already did all the tracking, which is pretty nice. So now you see it's just going to follow the tracking info we did in the beginning. So it's actually sticking there pretty well. You can actually see some transparent edges on here. So we're just going to fix that by just scaling it up a tiny bit like that, just to make sure nothing is really showing. And that looks cool. It's stick there pretty well. Even in the rotation, it's sticking to the screen pretty well. So another cool thing they did in that music video is if you don't want it to be a video, like for example right here they have him in the window, and then they kind of stamp that and make it a picture just like that. If you want to make it, if you don't want it to keep moving, what you can do is just actually cut out a frame of that. So Control-Shift-D just to cut it, and then in the second cut piece right here, just right click that, go to time, and then just click freeze frame. And then you'll see that that is actually frozen. It's actually how you do that zoom out effect, which is a huge chunk of this video. If you see here, it's literally just doing that over and over and over and over and over again. Since this is a tutorial, I didn't do it like 5 million times in a row because it would probably take me a huge amount of hours. I wanted to get this out quick. Use the same techniques in Premiere, After Effects that I showed you to go through the watch just like that. If you enjoy these videos, please leave a like. It helps the growth of this channel a huge amount. If you're new here, subscribe, join the community. We're about to hit 50,000 subscribers, so thank you guys so much. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.